Second, pre-fertilization structures and events in a flowering plants is development of female gametophyte. Generally, the development of female gametophyte involves following steps. The first step for the development of female gametophyte in an angiosperms or flowering plants during sexual reproduction is pistil. Pistil is also called as carpels. This is the first step for the development of female gametophyte in angiosperms, that is pistil or carpels. Generally, in a bisexual flower, outermost whorl is called calyx, second whorl is called corolla, third whorl is called androecium, innermost fourth whorl is called gynoecium. The female reproductive structure or female sex organ in an angiosperms is gynoecium. The units of this gynoecium is called as carpels or pistil. The female sex organ in a bisexual flower is gynoecium. That is the innermost whorl of bisexual flower. The units of gynoecium is called as pistil or carpels. If you see the structure of one pistil or one carpel, each carpel or each pistil having three main parts such as stigma, style, ovary. Stigma is the landing platform for pollen grains during pollination. Once again I repeat, each carpel or pistil having three major parts such as a stigma, style, ovary. Stigma is a landing platform for pollen grains. It is the receptor for pollen grains, or it is also called as landing platform for pollen grains during pollination. In between stigma and ovary, the middle elongated tubular like structure is called as style. And the basal swollen structure is called as ovary. Each ovary having a chamber is called as locules. Each locule having a cushion like parenchymatous tissue is called as placenta. From the placenta, ovules are arises. The attachment of ovules to the placenta of locules is called as placentation. So, for example, if a gynoecium is made up of one pistil or one carpel is called as monocarpellary gynoecium. If a gynoecium is made up of two pistils or carpels is called as bicarpellary gynoecium. If a gynoecium is made up of three carpels is called tricarpellary gynoecium. If a gynoecium is made up of four carpels is called as tetracarpellary gynoecium. If a gynoecium is made up of five carpels is called as pentacarpellary gynoecium. If a gynoecium is made up of many carpels is called as multicarpellary gynoecium. Each carpel having three parts stigma, style, ovary. Inside the ovary, the chamber is called as locules. If a carpel having one locule is called as unilocular ovary. If a carpel having two chambers is called as bilocular ovary. If a ovary having three chambers is called as trilocular ovary. If a ovary having four chambers is called tetralocular ovary. If a ovary having five chambers is called as pentalocular ovary. If a ovary have many chambers is called as multilocular ovary. Once again, I repeat, in a bisexual flower, Innermost whorl or fourth whorl of bisexual flower is called gynoecium. Gynoecium is a female sex organ. The units of gynoecium is called carpels or pistil. Each carpel having three parts: stigma, style, ovary. Ovary has a chambers is called as locules. Locules have a parenchymatous tissue is called placenta. Many ovules are attached to placenta locules. This phenomenon is called as placentation. If a gynoecium is made up of many carpels or pistils, if all these carpels are fused or may be free, because of this characteristic feature, gynoecium in flowering plants is classified into two types. First type is syncarpous gynoecium. Second type is apocarpous gynoecium. The best example for syncarpous gynoecium is Solanum, Solanaceae family members, and Papaver somnifera, and Hibiscus rosa sinensis or China rose. These are the three examples for syncarpous gynoecium. What is syncarpous? On the thalamus, many carpels are present. If all these carpels are fused on the thalamus is called as syncarpous gynoecium. Example: Solanum, Papaver, Hibiscus. This is an example of Hibiscus rosa sinensis. If you see the hibiscus transfer section of ovary having 5 carpels, pentacarpellary. All these 5 carpels are fused. A pentacarpellary syncarpous gynoecium is the characteristic features of hibiscus. These are the 5 stigmatic lobes, each stigma having 1 carpel. These are the 5 stigmatic lobes, indicates pentacarpellary. All these 5 carpels are fuses, then it is called as syncarpous gynoecium. The second type of gynoecium, whether the carpels or pistils free or fused in a flowering plants, apocarpous gynoecium. The best example for apocarpous gynoecium is Michaelia champaka, simply we called as Michaelia. In Michaelia champaka, this is the thalamus. On the thalamus, many carpels are present, but all these carpels are free. If carpels are free, on the thalamus is called as apocarpus. According to Greek language, apo means free, carpus means carpels. According to Greek language, sync means fused, carpus means carpels. These are the different types of gynoecium based on the carpels or pistils may be free or fused. In each carpel, generally, this is one carpel. In each carpel, there are 3 major parts are present. One is stigma, another one is style, third one is ovary. If a ovary having only one ovule is the characteristic features of rice plant and wheat plant and mango plant. The rice plant and wheat plant and mango plant, each ovary having only one ovule, that is uniovulated ovary. In the plants of watermelons and papaya, in the plants of watermelon and papaya and orchids, smallest size of seeds. In the plants of watermelon, in the plants of papaya, in the plants of orchid, each ovary having many ovules. Each ovary having single ovule in the rice plant and wheat plant and mango. Each ovary has many ovules in watermelon and papaya and orchids. So, from these ovary, Many ovules are present. One of the ovule we separate from the ovary. Let's we discuss structure of ovary or structure of megasporangium or structure of integumented megasporangium. Each carpel or pistil having three major parts: stigma, style, ovary. Ovary has ovules, maybe single or maybe many. One of the ovule I can separate from ovary. Now I can discuss structure of ovule is also called as megasporangium, is also called as integumented megasporangium. In the structure of ovule or integumented megasporangium, generally it looks like oval shape. It's a whitish in color. And one more, this ovule having a stalk-like structure. With the help of this stalk, it is attaches to placenta of locules of ovary. Ovules are attaches to placenta of locules of ovary. In the structure of ovule or megasporangium or integumented megasporangium, stalk of the ovule is called as funiculus or funiculi or funicle. With the help of this stalk, the entire ovule attaches to placenta of locules of ovary. And the next one, this is body of ovule. In the body of ovule, each ovule having single female gametophyte is also called as embryo sac. This embryo sac is surrounded by a mass of parenchymatous nutritive tissue in a ovule is called as nucellus. Its ploidy is diploid. A mass of parenchymatous diploid tissue present in the body of ovule is called as nucellus. Nucellus stores food material. It is act as a nutritive tissue. Its ploidy is diploid, 2n. And this nucellus surrounded by integuments or protective coats. So, outermost protective coat of ovule is called as outer integument. Outer integument is also called as testa. The inner protective layer is called as inner integument or is also called as tegmen. These integuments are leaving narrow space and it form a small pore-like structure. These are not fuses together, they are leaving free and it's form narrow space and pore is called as micropyle. Opposite to micropyle, the base of the ovule is called as, generally this ovule is inverted ovule. Opposite to micropyle, the base of the ovule is called as chalaja. This is micropyle. Opposite to micropyle, the base of the ovule is called as chalaja. And one more important characteristic feature, this is the stalk of the ovule and this is the body of ovule. This is the junction. The junction in between stalk of the ovule or the body and body of ovule is called as hilum. That means the point of attachment of stalk of the ovule to the body of ovule. The point of attachment of funiculus to the body of ovule is called as hilum. Or simply one more definition, the junction in between funiculus and body of ovule is called as hilum. And one more, this ovule having a vascular connections. Because of presence of these vascular connections, it can be supply food and water to the ovule. This is the basic structural information about ovule or megasporangium or integumented megasporangium. So, in the structure of ovule, the number of integuments is 1 or 2 or may be absent. Because of this characteristic feature, ovules are classified into three types. Generally, ovules is classified into three types. The first type of ovule is ategmic ovule. The first type of ovule is ategmic ovule. The second type of ovule is unitegmic ovule. The third type of ovule is bitegmic ovule. Based on the number of integuments present in the structure of ovule. Integuments are the protective coats or protective structures in the ovule. Based on the number of integuments in the structure of ovules, ovules are classified into three types. The first type is ategmic ovule. Second type is unitegmic ovule. Third type is bitegmic ovule. Ategmic ovules means integuments are absent. A means absent. An integuments are absent in the structure of ovule is called as ategmic ovule. Example, parasitic plants like Santalum and Loranthus. Most of the parasitic plants like Santalum and Loranthus having ategmic ovules, integuments are absent in the structure of ovule. If the structure of ovule having only one integument is called as unitegmic ovules. Examples, dicots, especially Gamopetalae group of dicots. If the structure of ovule is having two integuments is called as bitegmic ovules. Example, monocots and dicots, especially Polypetalae group of dicots. Once again I repeat, the ovules are classified into three types based on the number of integuments, such as ategmic ovule, unitegmic ovules, bitegmic ovules. If the structure of ovule is not bounded by any integuments are called as ategmic ovules. Example, parasitic plants like Santalum and Loranthus. If the structure of ovule having only one integument is called as unitegmic ovules. Uni means a single. Example, dicots, especially Gamopetalae. If the petals are fused is called as Gamopetalae. In dicotyledon, the Gamopetalae group of plants are having unitegmic ovules. If the structure of ovule having two integuments is called as bitegmic ovules. Example, monocots. In dicots, polypetalae groups, petals are free. And one more characteristic feature here, based on the orientation and configuration. See here, based on the orientation and configuration of relation with the funiculus and body of ovule. Ovules are classified into six types. Orthotropous ovule, anatropous ovule, hemianatropous ovule, campylotropous ovule, amphitropous ovule, cercinotropous ovules. Generally, ovules are classified into six types based on the configuration and orientation and relationship between stalk of the ovule, funiculus and body of ovule. Ovules are classified into six types, such as orthotropous ovule, anatropous ovule, hemianatropous ovule, amphitropous ovule, campylotropous ovule, cercinotropous ovule. Out of all these six types of ovule, in 82% of angiosperms, means flowering plants. 82% of angiosperms are flowering plants having anatropous ovule. Anatropous ovule is also called as inverted ovule. In this type of ovule, the body of ovule shows 180 degrees curvature. So, this diagrammatic presentation of ovule is nothing but anatropous ovule. It is also called as inverted ovule. The body of ovules, its written or its curve 180 degrees of body. If the body of ovule shows 180 degrees curvature, such kind of ovules are called as anatropous ovule or inverted ovule. This kind of inverted ovule or anatropous ovule is most common in 82% of angiosperms or flowering plants. Now, we discuss in the structure of ovule, megasporogenesis can take place, meiosis can take place, embryo sac development or female gametophyte development can take place. Generally, after fertilization, this ovule can turns into seed. This is first point about ovule. Inside the ovule, megasporogenesis can take place and the development of embryo sac or female gametophyte also can take place. At early stage of this ovule or anatropous ovule or inverted ovule or integumented ovule or megasporangium, without the formation of integument, some of the nucellus cells, nucellus is diploid nutritive tissue, it's a storage tissue in the ovule. Some of the nucellus cells at early stage of ovule without formation of integuments, some of the nucellus cells it's present towards micropyle can converted into megaspore mother cell. These diploid megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis to form 4 haploid megaspores. This phenomenon is called as megasporogenesis. Now we discuss megasporogenesis. The process of megasporogenesis, it takes place in megasporangium, is also called integumented megasporangium or anatropous ovule or ovule. At early stage of ovule, before the formation of integuments, outer integument and inner integument, some of the nucellus cells it locates towards micropyle. Some of the nucellus cells located towards micropyle, it's modified into megaspore mother cell. Nucellus cells are diploid. Directly the nucellus cells develops into megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cells also diploid. Now this diploid megaspore mother cell undergoes meiotic cell division to produce 4 haploid megaspores. This phenomenon is called as megasporogenesis. This process can take place inside the megasporangium or ovule. Once again I repeat the process and a definition of megasporogenesis. The process of formation of 4 haploid megaspores from diploid megaspore mother cell by meiosis is called as megasporogenesis. Let's we discuss the mechanism of megasporogenesis inside the megasporangium with diagrammatic presentation. I will explain now process of megasporogenesis. This is megaspore mother cell. The megaspore mother cell is diploid. It is a large sized cell having dense cytoplasm with a prominent nucleus. It is surrounded by nucellus cells. Now this large sized megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis 1 to produce 2 megaspores. This is called as megaspore dyad. Now these 2 megaspores participated in meiosis 2. Then it produces 4 haploid megaspores. This is called megaspore tetrad. The formation of linear megaspore tetrad from single diploid megaspore mother cell by meiotic cell division is called megasporogenesis. After megasporogenesis, out of 4 haploid megaspores, 3 haploid megaspores are degenerated. The degenerated haploid megaspores present towards micropyle end of ovule. Only one functional megaspore present towards chalazal end. The functional single megaspore present towards chalazal end, and the rest of 3 degenerated megaspores present towards micropyle. So, after megasporogenesis, 4 haploid megaspores are produced. Out of 4, 3 are degenerated. The degenerated megaspores present towards micropyle end. Only one megaspore is functional. This is haploid, present towards chalazal end. This single functional haploid megaspore can develop into female gametophyte or embryo sac inside megasporangium or ovule. Now we discuss how this single functional haploid megaspore present towards chalazal end is develops into female gametophyte, is also called as embryo sac in angiosperms. We discuss now. Yes, after megasporogenesis, 4 haploid megaspores or tetrad of haploid megaspores are formed. Once again, I repeat the definition for megasporogenesis. The process of formation of 4 haploid megaspores from diploid megaspore mother cell by meiotic cell division is called as megasporogenesis. The process of megasporogenesis can take place in megasporangium or ovule. After megasporogenesis, 4 haploid megaspores are formed. So, according to one of the scientists, his name is Panchanan Maheshwari. He is the father of embryologist in India. The father of embryologist in India, his name is Panchanan Maheshwari. He was classified embryo sac development is of 3 types. One is monosporic type of embryo sac development, bisporic type of embryo sac development, tetrasporic type of embryo sac development, based on the number of functional megaspores are involved. After megasporogenesis, 4 haploid megaspores are formed. Out of 4, if 3 are degenerated, only one is functional. If that single functional megaspore is participated to development of female gametophyte or embryo sac in angiosperms is called as monosporic type of embryo sac development. The best example for monosporic type of embryo sac development, Polygonum divariegatum and Enothera lamarckiana. According to Panchanan Maheshwari, out of 4 haploid megaspores, if 2 haploid megaspores are participated for the formation of embryo sac or female gametophytes in angiosperms, such kind of embryo sac development is called as bisporic type of embryo sac development. Example, Allium. If 4 haploid megaspores are participated for the development of female gametophyte or embryo sac in angiosperms is called as tetrasporic type of embryo sac development. Example, Adaxa and Fritillaria. Out of these 3 different types of embryo sac development or female gametophyte development, the most common type of embryo sac development in flowering plants or in angiosperms is monosporic type of embryo sac development. Nearly 80% of angiosperms are flowering plants having monosporic type of embryo sac development. Let's we discuss monosporic type of embryo sac development. Monosporic type of embryo sac development. So, monosporic type of embryo sac development or female gametophyte development. One of the scientists, his name is Strasburger. The scientist Strasburger, he was first to discover monosporic type of embryo sac development in the plant of Polygonum divariegatum. Honorable to the scientist Strasburger, this embryo sac development is also called as Strasburger type of embryo sac development. Honorable to this plant, this embryo sac development is also called as Polygonum type of embryo sac development. In the monosporic type of embryo sac development, the female gametophyte or embryo sac having 8 nucleus and 7 celled. During monosporic type of embryo sac development, the female gametophyte or embryo sac is formed. It has 8 nucleus and 7 celled. An 8 nucleated 7 celled embryo sac or female gametophyte development is nothing but monosporic type of embryo sac development. Let's discuss how the monosporic type of embryo sac development can take place in angiosperms, example Polygonum divariegatum. After megasporogenesis, 4 haploid megaspores are formed. Out of 4 haploid megaspores, towards micropyle end, 3 megaspores are degenerated. Only 1 haploid megaspore is functional, that is present towards chalazal end. Now this haploid single functional megaspore undergoes first mitotic division, that's called as first mitotic generation, first mitotic division, to form 2 nucleus. 1 nucleus present at chalazal end, 1 nucleus present at micropyle end in the structure of ovule. This is called as 2 nucleated embryo sac. Now this nucleus undergoes second mitotic division and third mitotic division. These 2 nucleated embryo sac going to second mitotic generation to form 4 nucleated embryo sac. Out of this 4 nucleated embryo sac, 2 nucleus present at chalazal end, 2 nucleus present at micropyle end. Now this 4 nucleated embryo sac undergoes third mitotic generation to form 8 nucleus. Out of 8 nucleus, 4 nucleus present at chalazal end, 4 nucleus present at micropyle end. This is called 8 nucleated embryo sac. If 4 nucleus present at chalazal end is called chalazal tetrad, 4 nucleus present at micropyle is called micropyle tetrad. A single functional haploid megaspore can develop into 8 nucleated embryo sac by require 3 mitotic generations and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total number of mitotic divisions 7, total number of mitotic generation 3 is required the development of haploid single functional megaspore into 8 nucleated embryo sac. Out of these 8 nucleus, in 8 nucleated embryo sac, generally I told you, the monosporic type of embryo sac is 8 nucleated and 7 cell. This is 8 nucleated embryo sac. Out of 8 nucleus, 4 nucleus present at chalazal end, 4 nucleus present at micropyle end. Out of 4 nuclei, 1 nucleus migrate to center of embryo sac or female gametophyte. Out of 4 nucleus present at chalazal end, 1 nucleus migrate to center of embryo sac. Then towards chalazal end, 3 haploid nucleus are present. Towards micropyle end, 3 haploid nucleus are present. Towards the center of embryo sac, 2 haploid nucleus is present. How this nucleus is organized into cellular, we discuss in the structure of embryo sac or female gametophyte. Let's we discuss structure of female gametophyte is also called as embryo sac. After monosporic embryo sac development, 8 nucleated embryo sac is formed. Out of 8 nucleus, 4 nucleus present at chalazal end, 4 nucleus present at micropyle end. Out of 4 nucleus at micropyle end, 1 nucleus migrate to center of embryo sac. Out of 4 nucleus from chalazal end, 1 nucleus migrated to center of embryo sac. So, 1 nucleus from polar chalazal end, 1 more polar micropyle end. From both the poles, 2 haploid nucleus migrated into center of embryo sac to form polar nuclei. Polar nuclei is haploid. These 2 polar nuclei organized in large sized central cell in embryo sac. The largest cell in embryo sac is central cell. This central cell having 2 haploid polar nuclei. One is from chalazal end, another one is from micropyle end. And the central cell having dense cytoplasm with vacuoles and along with Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus. And out of 4 nucleus from micropyle end, whenever 1 nucleus migrate from micropyle to central cell or center of embryo sac, towards a micropyle end, 3 haploid nucleus is present. These 3 haploid nucleus organized into egg apparatus. The egg apparatus is a 3-celled, is located towards micropyle end of embryo sac. In egg apparatus, the central cell is called as egg cell, is also called as oosphere. This egg cell having nucleus from chalazal end and vacuole from micropyle end. And both sides of egg cell, there are 2 haploid synergid cells are present. The synergids is also called as helper cells. The ploid of these helper cells also haploid. These synergids having nucleus from micropyle end and vacuole from chalazal end. So, 2 synergids plus 1 egg cell is called as egg apparatus. The number of cells in egg apparatus is 3. The number of nucleus in egg apparatus is 3. The 3-celled, 3-nucleated egg apparatus present towards micropyle end of embryo sac or female gametophyte. So, the egg cell and the synergids connected by plasmodesmata connections for transportations of cytoplasm from one cell to another cell. So, the synergids having a finger-like structures is called as filiform apparatus. Filiform apparatus, these are the finger-like projections or structures present in synergids. The main function of this filiform apparatus, it's help for obtaining the nutrients from the ovule nucellus. That's the first function. And it can be guide the path of pollen tube into embryo sac during fertilization. These are the 2 functions of filiform apparatus. Out of these 2 synergids in egg apparatus, when the pollen grain land on the surface of stigma, when compatible right pollen grain land on surface of stigma, in egg apparatus out of 2 synergids, 1 synergid is degenerated. After fertilization, the second synergid also will degenerate. This is an information about egg apparatus. 1 egg cell and 2 synergids is equal to egg apparatus. Egg apparatus having 3 cells and 3 nucleated present towards micropyle end. And come back. Towards chalazal end, after migration of 1 polar nuclei towards center of embryo sac, towards chalazal end, 3 nucleus is present. These 3 nucleus organized into 3 cells. These 3 cells are called as antipodal cells, is also called as vegetative cells. The ploidy of these antipodal cells are haploid. The number of antipodal cells and the number of nucleus towards chalaza is 3. The number of antipodals always constant in each embryo sac is 3. Its ploidy is haploid. After fertilization, these antipodals will be degenerated. These are not participated in sexual reproduction. Then it is called as vegetative nuclei or vegetative cells. And in the center of embryo sac, the large size, the largest cell in embryo sac is central cell. The central cell having 2 polar nuclei, one is from micropyle end, another one is chalazal end. Its ploidy is haploid. During fertilization, these 2 haploid nuclei fuses to form secondary nuclei. Its ploidy is diploid is also called as definite nuclei. During fertilization, these two haploid nucleus fuses to form secondary nucleus or definite nucleus it's having. So, the number of cells in embryo sac 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, in angiosperms, the number of cells in embryo sac is 7 celled. The number of nucleus is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number of nucleus is 8 nucleated. So, embryo sac in angiosperms, especially in 80% of angiosperms, 7 celled and 8 nucleated embryo sac. The organization of these cells and nucleus in embryo sac from micropyle to chalazal end. For example, number of cells towards micropyle is 3, 1 in central cell and 3 in antipodals. The number of nucleus organization from micropyle to chalazal end is 3 nucleus at micropyle, 2 nucleus at central cell and 3 nucleus at chalazal end. These are the organizations of nucleus and cells in the structure of embryo sac.